Jesus walked on water, but Cisco walked on That's blasphemous and true.
People do things on camera because they're comfortable doing them. If they're uncomfortable doing them, they shouldn't be doing them. It's just that simple. That's when problems happen. Problems and cases and situations and all this inappropriate because you weren't comfortable doing it anyway, but you did it. And now you want to come back and say, the whole time I couldn't believe it.
So the Thong Song is going crazy. It's like killing the airwaves. And then, we get that call from our lawyer, like, have a seat. If you're standing up, you might want to take a seat. That's when all the drama started.
Sisqo's story is one of the most surprising twists in modern R&B. He went from setting charts on fire with Dru Hill to becoming a global phenomenon with Thong Song, only to disappear from the spotlight just as fast as he rose. For years, fans wondered how an artist with that much talent, that much energy, and that much star power could suddenly be pushed to the sidelines. The deeper you look, the more shocking the answers become. Behind the bright performances and platinum records, Sisqo was fighting battles that most people never saw. Battles with record label executives who didn't like the way he insisted on using his own Baltimore team. Battles over royalties that drained the success of his biggest hit. Battles against rumors about his personal life that spread faster than his music. Battles with powerful industry figures who, according to him, punished him for refusing to follow certain unspoken rules. And while the public celebrated his voice and style, the industry quietly labeled him as difficult. Suddenly, projects were shelved, invitations stopped coming, collaborations vanished. The same system that once boosted him began to freeze him out. Before anything went wrong, everything was going right. Long before the fame, he was Mark Andrews from Baltimore, a kid with a golden voice, working at the fudgery, singing to customers for tips with a group of friends who called themselves Dru Hill. The group had chemistry, discipline, and a hunger that set them apart. That drive produced the core lineup we now know as Cisco, Woody, Nokio, and Jazz. The harmonies were tight, the performances sharp, and the desire to break out of Baltimore was stronger than any obstacle around them.
Now, like I said, Sisqo is a member of Dru Hill. Dru Hill was signed when they was really young. They did extremely exceptional. They're an awesome group. And everything about what they did in the 90s and the 2000s was crazy amazing. Now, people got to understand that in the 90s, Sisqo wanted to sound like, he wanted to sing like Dru Hill. Woody, put it like this, Sisqo liked Boyz II Men, I'm sorry, and Woody liked Jodeci. So Woody said that him and Sisqo exchanged tapes, and Sisqo just fell in love with KC. And from there, they formed a group. Like I said, long story short, it's a long story, y'all. But they formed a group, and they were signed young, and they had a bad deal, and the group broke up, and so the group broke up on the Will Smith Wild Wild West video shoot. That's why you see Woody, and then you don't see Woody anymore. Now, Woody came back to the group for the second album, and he brought in a friend that they were cool with. Yeah, right. Yeah. So he brought a friend that they were cool with growing up, and he was a part of the group too. His name was Scola. So the third album, they had 5 members in the group. So after that, they had another album to come out again, and they had a new member named Teo. Now, Teo is an amazing singer. Amazing. I mean, this guy is exceptional. Like, he's an amazing singer. And they did an album with him. And after Teo left, then, because Jazz left first, then Teo left, then Nokio left, and that made them become a new group with Smoke and Black from Player. Cheers to You, if y'all remember Player. Now, they did a nice little run as Dru Hill, but they now has changed their name to Smoking Black.
Soon enough, Dru Hill landed a deal with Island Black Music. Their rise in the mid-1990s was quick. Songs like Tell Me, In My Bed, and How Deep Is Your Love made them stars. Cisco became the clear frontman, known for his acrobatic vocals and natural charisma. His voice was powerful and emotional, and he carried the intensity of someone who knew he would not be denied success. While the group climbed the charts, something else began happening behind the scenes. Cisco's desire for independence was already showing. He wanted control. He wanted to use his own team from Baltimore for production, choreography, and creative development. But labels have their own machinery, and they prefer teams they already trust. This early tension planted seeds for the storms that would come later. By the time Sisqo went solo in 1999 and released Unleash the Dragon, he was unstoppable. Thong Song became a worldwide sensation, a cultural moment bigger than anyone expected. Incomplete proved he was not just a performer but a vocalist with emotional depth. Yet the same moment that gave him global fame also exposed him to the cold business side of the industry in ways that would change the entire course of his career.
For the song, Sisqo was more so the bridge and the ad-libs, you know, because if you listen to the music in the first album or so, you hear more of Sisqo on the chorus and on the bridge, and Jazz and Woody are leading majority of the songs. But the singles that come out is because Sisqo had the body, he had everything. Like, people don't understand, like when they did their first Woody was telling me when they did Tell Me, the video for Tell Me, that was the first video they did, and he was telling me that Sisqo didn't want to do that. He didn't want to sing it, he didn't want to do their certain songs, he didn't want to sing certain songs he didn't want to do. So what happened is Sisqo basically rebelled on what they wanted because he didn't, it's certain stuff that he didn't like. You gotta think about it. They 16, 17 years old at the time. So Sisqo went and dyed his hair to make them mad. And it ended up helping. It ended up making him bigger than ever. Like, he did that out of being rebellious. And I hope I'm saying it right. If anybody think it's different, y'all tell me if y'all heard another situation. I want to hear everybody's comments. So even when somebody's sleeping in my bed, Sisqo didn't want to sing this song. Sisqo said that, why would I sing a song about another guy sleeping with my woman in my bed? So he sung the song wrong. He sung it crazy hard. So they would say, we're not putting this out. But come to find out, they loved it. They loved how hard he sung this song. There was like the emotion in that song, and that album ended up becoming the song of the album. Tell Me was basically next level because of the dance movement, and everybody still do that to this day because they wanted them to move like a choir, like back to back. So Sisqo was like, no, we just gonna feel like Cisco. It was like, we just gonna jump it up. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna move like the choir, but we're gonna jump it up. So that's how that became so famous. But over half of the stuff, like a lot of the stuff that Sisqo didn't even want to do, you know, and that's my understanding from listening to people, listening to interviews with Sisqo, him saying this stuff himself. He said, why would I sing about a song about a guy sleeping in the bed? I mean, my girl cheating on me and the guy in my bed. So that's when you see the video, you see them singing the song, and at the end, his girl was sleeping with another girl. It wasn't the guy. That's why they did the video like that. Like, it's like knowing this stuff and listening and seeing the videos and interviews, like that's somebody changing the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got Dru Hill, you got Jagged Edge, you got 112, which probably was the biggest groups around that time.
The biggest hit of his career, Thong Song, was also the beginning of one of his most painful public battles. The hook of the song referenced the phrase, "Living La Vida Loca," a line associated with songwriter Desmond Child. That small moment led to a major lawsuit. The court ruled in Desmond Child's favor, and the judgment redirected a large portion of the royalties away from Cisco. What should have been Cisco's financial foundation became a financial setback. Royalties that could have supported new albums, tours, and long-term planning were suddenly split. Worse, executives began seeing the lawsuit as a sign of instability. Investors grew cautious, labels grew nervous, collaborators hesitated. A hit song that should have built his empire instead chipped away at it. For any artist, royalties are a lifeline. Losing them means losing leverage. Losing leverage means losing influence. And losing influence means losing protection. Sisqo has said that this lawsuit became one of the key turning points in the way the industry viewed him. The industry respects money and momentum. Anything that disrupts that creates danger for the artist. His themes in Sisqo's story is his loyalty. He insisted on working with people from Baltimore. He wanted local producers, local stylists, local dancers, and local writers. He wanted to share his success instead of feeding only the label's usual circle. He has described his approach as a sort of Robin Hood attitude. Instead of allowing the label to dictate every collaborator, he wanted to bring his people with him. But this was not how major labels operated. They preferred their own trusted network. People who followed rules, worked quietly, kept the energy smooth, and understood the politics behind the scenes. When an artist insisted on bringing outside people in, it disrupted that balance. Executives labeled Sisqo as difficult. They said he was rebellious. They said he refused to follow the program. According to Sisqo, this refusal to bend over metaphorically and obey certain expectations directly contribute to him being quietly pushed out. Meetings dried up, budgets were lowered, promotion weakened, and his reputation began shaping itself into something he had no control over. In the music business, image matters, but behind the image, compliance matters even more.
It's so great to see y'all here today. Hi, Cisco. Hi everybody. It's really nice to be amongst such greatness here, celebrating hip hop, but also honoring Mr. Cohen. What does that feel like tonight?
Being even asked to be a part of honoring Leo Cohen was a no-brainer for us. He's had such an impact on the music industry and as well as even YouTube now. I believe he's running YouTube for the world. And if you just look around, man, it's like what Smoke was saying earlier. It's almost like the hip-hop version of like Motown, because you got like all of these, legendary artists. And, Leo was, the visionary that saw, what was in each of us. And individually, if you notice, everybody's like completely different. So he's definitely not a one-trick pony. It's awesome to be here.
Sisqo has openly said that one of the biggest cracks in his career came from a direct clash with Lyor Cohen, one of the most powerful music executives of the era. Cohen was known for being sharp, strategic, and unapologetically focused on profits. Many artists have described him as someone you do not cross. Sisqo claimed he cursed Cohen out. That single moment, according to him, sealed his fate. From his perspective, that confrontation turned into silent punishment. Opportunities disappeared. Calls stopped being returned. He felt erased. Several artists through the years have spoken about the industry's ability to quietly blacklist someone without ever announcing it. According to Sisqo, this was exactly what happened. His independence, his pushback, and his refusal to follow the rules made him a target. And in an industry where power moves behind closed doors, it only takes one executive to turn a golden boy into a ghost.
What inspired you to do the platinum do, especially being a male?
To be funny, I mean, not to be funny, it wasn't funny. When I chose to dye my hair blonde is because I got my heart broken. And when I was dating a 10th grader when I was a 9th grader. And
big deal then.
She broke my heart, and I didn't want to, I wanted to just kind of be somebody else. So I saw the Big Papa video, and I saw Diddy Baby Mother.
Yeah, Misa Hill and Grim.
Misa, right.
Yeah, Misa Hill and Grim.
She actually styled us in the Big Bad Mama video with Foxy Brown. And
wow.
Yeah, that's kind of ironic. It kind of went full circle.
She had
wow.
And her hair she was actually like, she did like the kind of platinum blonde thing, and I was just like, that.
Done.
Wow.
And it's funny because it's like now, like Chris Brown does his hair blonde, And some like younger people like think like he was the first one that did
But it was you.
No, it's all good because I met Chris Brown and right before when he first came out, and he told me he looked up to me, which was ironic because I'm 5'6", he like 6.
Another battle Cisco fought throughout his entire career involved the way his image was interpreted. From his platinum blonde hair to his flamboyant sage outfits, he expressed himself boldly. To fans, he was stylish and original. But to the industry, his image became something they wanted to control. Cisco told a story about a moment when an executive demanded he dye his blonde hair black for a video shoot. They wanted him to fit a safe, predictable R&B image. He obeyed at first, then secretly dyed his hair blonde again halfway through the shoot. He refused to let anyone strip away the visual identity that made him stand out. That rebellion added fuel to long-running rumors about his For years, tabloids and TV hosts speculated. Some tied the rumors to his outfits. Others used clips from reality shows. Cisco denied all of it, saying he understood the joke but insisting the rumors were false. Still, once a rumor becomes a tool, it becomes part of an artist's public narrative, a subtle pressure point, something that can be used to embarrass or distract. The entertainment industry has a long history of using headlines about to control or discredit artists. Cisco said he was tired of the jokes. He said he was tired of the labels, but the whispers never fully went away.
Killing this era, like, they applauded Frank Ocean for coming out. Cisco had to hide it.
Is Cisco gay?
Rory.
What? I thought he came out, no?
First of all,
he has a belly button tattoo.
Thinking somebody came out is just hilarious. Like you can't think. You have to know for sure if somebody has announced that they are.
Okay. Well, if he hasn't and is not, in fact, that it's not my business.
So you just open the closet door.
I'm the first one that thought Cisco was gay.
No, not thought it, but you said like he came out. I don't know if.
I thought he did.
I don't know. Maybe he did. I don't know.
He did not.
Okay,
he did not.
He was wearing a thong in the Thong Song. He was the only one in the video with a thong
on. He says that he's not.
That's what he said?
But he's from that old school era where you have to like deny it.
Cisco's career did not just suffer from label politics. Personal controversies also made headlines. A public child support dispute, a lawsuit from a former collaborator, a legal case involving a woman who said she met him on tour, an arrest involving an argument with a neighbor, rumors of fights backstage, stories of diva behavior. Some incidents were exaggerated, some were misunderstood, some were part of the normal chaos that surrounds celebrity life. But in entertainment, perception is everything. Once the public begins to see someone as unpredictable or high drama, the industry sees them as high risk. Every scandal took a small piece of his clean image, and every piece that fell away made it easier for executives to justify stepping back from him.
When people think about fighting, they don't think about Cisco and whatnot. So you could have lost, and then people were like, no, he's doing hitting Cisco.
It wasn't a fight though. It wasn't a fight.
What was that? What is it called?
Skirmish.
A scuffle.
A scuffle, I guess.
What was the problem?
I don't know, dude.
What did he say to you?
I was talking to Wingo. Wingo and I was hanging out because he knows a friend of mine from my female group. I went to my room. My room was locked. He was like, "Yo, you could use our bathroom," and I had already used their room earlier because the steps was right here, and their room was right here. Our room was further down at the end of the hall. So we went in there, and Kyle was in there. It was like, "Oh, you ain't gonna bring up that Breakfast Club stuff again?" I'm like, "Dude, ain't nobody think about that." Because after whatever he said on the Breakfast Club, he had actually like I came up and apologized.
What did he say on the Breakfast Club?
Somebody told me to shut the up or something. I don't know. That never happened. So he was like, "Man, no beef or whatever." So I went to the bathroom, and when I came back out,
you should have in his bathroom and left the door open. Real weird.
That's serious. That's what I'm trying to say. I can't remember what he said actually, but when you look at the video, it looked like he was blocking the door. So I don't know. Like I said, I was off work, so we all was partying, and I don't know what he said. He might have said something that made me feel a certain way or whatever. And man, we just got to tussling, and that's something. I mean, you from the inner city, dude. You tell a couple lies Friday, and somebody say something left. Y'all end up scuffling after the fight. You end up being better friends than you was when it started. And we literally spoke right after that.
Really? So, what'd you say? Hey, I ain't gonna say nothing if you ain't gonna say nothing.
It was more like I said, at the end of the skirmish, I think we walked away with more respect for each other than we had before. And that's just what happened in the city. I'm from Baltimore, dude. So it's like
you used to shooting then.
Fighting. I don't have that gun charge no more. But
Beat that. Beat that.
The larger problem was timing. These controversies hit right after his peak, when he was supposed to be receiving maximum support from labels, promoters, and media. Instead, they saw trouble. And trouble is expensive. Labels do not like expensive. After Unleash the Dragon, Sisqo's next projects did not receive the same backing. Promotion dipped, radio spin slowed, music videos got smaller budgets, marketing campaigns weakened. Even reunions with Dru Hill struggled. There was confusion over members leaving and returning. There were disagreements about direction, and the public had become more interested in newer R&B acts. With the drama surrounding Sisqo and the press, mainstream media gave less attention to anything he released. Tour sales dropped, new singles barely charted, albums were delayed, projects were shelved. Instead of a major comeback, he was left fighting for visibility that once came naturally. Sisqo said that at this point, he began to truly feel the effects of being boxed out.
Will Smith featuring Dru Hill. But when we got there, it seemed like it was all in the cards for it to be Will Smith featuring Cisco. Once again, you back to just being here just for the sake of being here. And that was basically my departure.
He just dropped a bomb on us and it was like, today? I mean, everybody's jaw just hit the floor.
We're at the top of our game. We got money in the bank. We got chart-topping singles. We just came off tour. It was traumatizing.
After that, Dru Hill carried on, touring as a trio. It didn't work.
The crowd started dwindling. As many people weren't coming to see Dru Hill perform. I think it was a direct cause and effect of what happened with Woody.
It was just not the same. I mean, for a 4-part harmony, you need 4 members.
So after that, I came to the label and I was like, we're trying to jam this new version of Dru Hill down their throat. And we got this kind of open window. I want to do a solo album.
One of the most controversial topics connected to Sisqo involves the idea of hidden industry systems that pressure artists behind the scenes. These claims have been spoken about by many artists across different eras. Some talk about situations where powerful people expect loyalty in uncomfortable ways. Others talk about invitations to private gatherings that are said to be used for influence or leverage. Sisqo never provided detailed stories, but he did speak in coded language about refusing to sell his soul. He implied he was punished for not going along with certain expectations. The commentary around his statements describes an environment where artists might be invited into compromising situations, and refusing could result in losing opportunities or being pushed out. While none of these claims can be confirmed, they match a broader pattern many artists have mentioned for decades. Whether true or not, this theme has shaped the public understanding of his downfall.
So I have to put Sisqo in the realm of that because Sisqo did something that was different with his first album that hadn't been done in a long time. Like, it's been done before, but it hadn't been done in a long time. And I'm gonna get to it right now. Singing and rapping. That's pretty much what everybody do right now. Hip hop, R&B, everybody. Now, the first time I heard singing and rapping, I forget the lady's name, and I hate I forget her name because she deserved her respect. She was doing it in the 80s, the white lady. I forget her name, but she was well known in the black community as far as R&B and pop. Why, I can't remember her name. But she was one of the first people I heard singing and rapping outside of gospel music in the quartet era of the early 1900s. Because when you had quartet music and gospel, they was like this. You know what I'm saying? So they're pretty much singing and rapping at the same time.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna bring it all the way down to the late 80s, early 90s. the person that was singing and rapping that did it and changed the game, and that was Bobby Brown. Now, that's why they say Bobby Brown is the king of R&B. What he did with the New Jack Swing, which his first album, those songs, some of those songs was wrote by Babyface, and a lot of people don't know that, understand it, that he was with Babyface first, and then that's when he went to gosh, how I forget his name, Blackstreet. Gosh, the producer Blackstreet, he had the verses with him and Babyface. Teddy Riley.
Yeah, Teddy.
Okay, Teddy Riley. See, so Babyface was like, he even said on the verses, he was like, when Bobby Brown went to you, he was like, man, and I heard your music. He was like, man, I wanted to sound like that. You know what I'm saying? When you brought your music in. So you got Bobby Brown, to me, quite possibly the king of R&B, because he changed the R&B sound from being a group type thing, like New Edition, like Temptations, like, you know what I'm saying, Smokey Robinson, solo artist, Sam Cooke, solo artist. Well, we had his group, he had his gospel group though, but they doing solo music, but it's just straight love. Like, he brought the hip hop.
By the late 2000s and early 2010s, Sisqo's mainstream presence had almost completely faded. He was still releasing music, still touring, still performing. But the promotions, the media appearances, the award show invites, the collaborations with top artists, the major opportunities had evaporated. Sisqo claimed he was blackballed. He said the industry wanted him to follow rules he was not willing to follow. And when he refused, they shut the door. From the outside, the pattern looks consistent. Lawsuits, reputation issues, conflicts with powerful executives, refusal to obey image demands, personal scandals, quality rumors, label disputes, financial loss. All of these combined form the perfect storm that can end an artist's mainstream career. And in Sisqo's case, that storm hit hard. Despite everything, Sisqo kept going. He continued performing with Dru Hill. He appeared on reality TV shows like Celebrity Big Brother and Celebrity Wife Swap. He got married to his longtime partner Elizabeth in 2018. He joked about performing Thong Song at his own wedding. He started business ventures, including a clothing line and children's books.
I think Sisqo is he's been very underrated, man, for whatever reason. And I think that he definitely need to get his flowers, man. I'm interested to see where he's at now, what he got going on, and that's all I got.
I got you. So we got on the term of Dru Hill and how Dru Hill came about, how Woody came up with he had to came up with the idea, and Sisqo became part of the group, and the group got started pretty much, and all that stuff. Like, what kind of difference you think Dru Hill made in the 90s as far as music? I'm gonna ask Hater that. Like, Hater, what do you think that Sisqo made like the Dru Hill? What kind of message did they leave, like, in the 90s music, man?
Well, in my opinion, it was just added on to many of the groups that we have had before them, and they kind of like symbolize the dying, like the last breed of the R&B group. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for today, I can't name a R&B group, you know. So they kind of like the last of the breed of those individuals willing to be in groups. And I think so, yeah, you know, because like so now all individual solo artists, so forth and so on. So that's what they kind of symbolize to me.
Okay, Raymond, I got this question for you too, man. Like, as far as what they did in the 90s, man, where do you see like what kind of image you think they had, and what you think that they'll leave on, like, the future of music and R&B?
I mean, really, when I think of going Dru Hill, man, I think, man, me growing up in the 90s, man, and they taught us how to love. They taught us to make love. They taught us how to love, and that time in our culture, that was really like, man, the place in time, man, where, like, they was coming behind Jodeci and behind like Boys to Men, groups like that, man. I think they added on to the nuance of love that we had in the 90s, man. So they, I mean, their mark, they left a big mark. They got so many different hits, man. I put them up against in the greats, man. And like behind Truth, coming behind Jodeci, coming behind Boys to Men, all those groups, man. They really kind of carried on the legacy of Love Me, man, in the 90s.
I got you. And I know y'all just getting on, but me and Charles were talking, and we got on the topic of rapping and singing because I know it was a lot of people to do it before Sisqo. You know, like you got the like I told him I can't remember the lady name that was doing it in the 80s. Hey, what's it? You know the lady name that was rapping and singing in the 80s? I think she was a white lady.
Tina Marie did it, and
Tina Marie did
I think
it.
Tina Marie, I think Millie Jackson. You know, there's a few people doing it.
Okay, that's what it was. Millie Jackson. Okay.
Also, if you don't mind, let me add something, right?
Okay.
So check this out. You know, it sounds conspiracy theorist like. However, in my opinion, with rap music and all this music being influential, I think the reason we do not have groups is not necessarily by mistake. I like to think that the people who put the money behind people we see on TV and on the radio, they push individualism, and they push all these solo people because a lot of the solo people, you know, they more about me, and I think that they would like our people to be about the mentality of me, because if we were all self-absorbed in our own selves and not about love and family, then we are divided. And when you are divided, you can be even more, you can be conquered even more than we already are. I'm done with that.
He may not have the mainstream backing he once had, but he has something many artists never achieved: longevity, a loyal fan base, a legacy rooted in late 1990s and early 2000s R&B history, and a catalog that still lights up dance floors more than 20 years later. His story is painful, but also inspiring. It is a reminder that fame is fragile, that power in the industry can shift instantly, and that even the brightest stars can be dimmed when they refuse to obey silent rules. But it is also a reminder that artists do not always disappear because they lose talent. Sometimes they disappear because they refuse to bend. Sisqo's journey is a cautionary tale about creativity, control, rebellion, image, and the invisible forces that shape music careers. It is a story about a young man who electrified the world, then paid a heavy price for insisting on doing things his own way. It is a story about talent battling power and losing. Yet it is also a story about survival, endurance, and the ability to rebuild a life even after the industry turns its back. Fans still say Sisqo never got the respect he deserved. Many say he influenced an entire generation of performers. Others believe he could have been one of the biggest R&B stars of all time if the business side had supported him instead of opposing him. Whatever the truth is, one thing remains clear: Sisqo's career will always be remembered not just for the rise, but for the battle behind the scenes. Do you think Sisqo was truly blacklisted, or was his downfall a mix of bad timing, personal choices, and industry politics? Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out on any new videos. And until then, fam, keep it real.